Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to Less Stress Travel, your number one channel when it comes down to handling your stress through the right minerals, the right vitamins, the right diet, improved sleep patterns, the right amount of exercise to reduce your stress in a maximum way and giving you the overall health and the productivity you deserve for the rest of your life. Guys, today, and you saw that in the video description, or the video title better said, it's about blood sugar and what you can do to overcome your cravings and to deal better with that basically. I want to talk about that. Now, let's start at the topic. I know for a lot of people it's an old topic. Everybody knows sugar is bad. Everybody knows you should take care about blood sugar. You shouldn't let it fluctuate. But just for the few people who don't know what I'm talking about here, and to really have everybody on board here, why is it actually dangerous to have blood sugar fluctuation? All right. Now, blood sugar fluctuation basically happens. It's the same thing like a roller coaster road when your blood sugar is going up and down. Now, how is that caused? It's caused by sugar consumption, better known as glucose, when it's broken down inside of your body and your system. Now, we want to avoid that. Why do we want to avoid that? A couple of reasons. We want to avoid that to a certain extent. I'm gonna get to that. Why we want to avoid that to a certain extent? That is the big question. The answer to that is pretty simple. It's all, in my opinion, and by working with over 200 clients together, it's all about having energy during the day, and not just during the day, your whole life. All right. If you think about that, basically, you are nothing more than energy. All right. You are constantly energy, and you are in contact with your environment, but that would be, I'm driving in the wrong direction, but just thinking about that. Energy is super important. That is the point. And we want to stabilize your energy over the day, and we want to keep it high, on a high level during your day until you go to sleep. Okay? And your energy over the day, you should sleep, and then you should go up, and you should stay here as best. You will always have slightly fluctuation, but it should never go during the day like this, right? Like a freaking dolphin going up and down, jumping up and down inside of the water, or like a roller coaster. You want to go like this, right? Like this. And then in the evening, slowly sliding back down, resting, and then you start again in the next day. Now, when you constantly eating sugars inside of your day, especially processed sugars, and I'm gonna get to this, then you will exactly do this, because you are loading up your body with sugar. Your body is responding by releasing from your pancreas insulin to bring, this is a hormone, to bring the sugar inside of your cell to provide energy here through the usage of this sugar. And but also, it's, if you cannot use this energy during the day, and so 95% of the day that would be the case, if you are not constantly running a marathon, if you are not constantly running, and a lot of people are watching this, I know this, you are sitting in front of your computers and you're working a lot. So what's going to happen? You're going to store this as fat. I know a lot of people know this, but I just wanted to make sure that this is really inside of your mindset, and this is important to have that. This is just part one. Part two for me is even more important, and this is dopamine. Dopamine is known as is highly addictive hormone, which makes you happy, and it's clearly been shown by studies. Eating sugars makes you happy. It has to do something also with our evolution. When you get energy, you are surviving more likely, and it's triggered inside of your brain. Dopamine's getting released, and you can. This is okay to a certain extent, but if you do this constantly, you're getting addicted to that. And one addiction can cause also another addictions. And I'm not talking just about food addictions. I'm also talking about smoking, alcohol, which you could involve inside of a food addiction as well. But I'm talking also about like sexual addictions, name it, okay? This has been shown by studies, psychological studies, that this can be a consequence of sugar addiction. Now you have to be aware of that. That's the most important thing. How you can break through this pattern. And I'm going to talk about this, what you can do in more videos, but today we're just going to focus on food, and I'm going to get to this. Now, why is it also important? Of course, big topic, diabetes. Okay, everybody knows that. If you constantly eating sugar and your pancreas has to release constantly insulin to work with this huge amount of glucose, not just you have your energy fluctuation and you can get addicted to that. Obviously, your pancreas to a certain extent can do this, can handle this, but at a certain point it's going to say, no, it's done here, buddy, sorry, to here and not further, and you can end up with diabetes. Again, you can. Some people might get there faster, some people get there slower, but the point is, why even bothering with that if you can avoid it, okay? Or you can try to avoid it as best as you can, all right? There's no recipe I cannot guarantee you that you never get diabetes if you are how can you say that, if your DNA is programmed, this is an important point, if your DNA is programmed that you gonna have diabetes to a certain extent, and you even triggering that, of course it's going to happen faster, but it could also be that you're really on point with your diet and you still gonna get sick because you made probably some other things wrong. But I'm clearly believing that you have the power to control that, okay, to a certain extent, obviously, all right? This is the difference between genetics and epigenetics, okay? I'm gonna make another video about that as well, basically. But in a nutshell, the DNA you can control, but the epigenetics you can control, and nutrition is a huge part of that. Okay, covering this up. What can we do now to obviously avoid blood sugar fluctuations? And before we talk about that, just one more note on that. All that being said, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't eat sugars at all. Why? A couple of reasons. And the first one, and I made a video about that as well, and also a couple of, I think 1 week ago, I made a Instagram post about that. If you want to check this out, Instagram's gonna be linked down below. Please check my Instagram out. I'm gonna post some cool, fun stuff in the stories and in the frame as well. But what I want to say is hormesis is a huge and important factor, in my opinion, to stay healthy and to sensibilize your body from time to time that there are certain toxins and certain things in the environment that you can deal with that better in the long run, all right? And we always want to think in the long run. Long run is my next thing why I think it's important from time to time to eat some sugars, because for most people it's impossible when you want to find a way to stabilize and finding a way to have a really good diet long-term in your lifestyle, because of social pressure, because of your cravings, because you're human, because you're not a robot. To a certain extent, most of us gonna crave some sugars from time to time, and it is completely okay, and you should do that. But, and this is a big but, the dose always makes the poison. I think you say that, and we have the saying in German, but I think it's the same saying basically in English. So be aware, how much do you eat and what do you eat? And this is the best bridge to the cool and awesome topic I learned a long while ago, which is called harm reduction. Now, harm reduction is really, really fascinating, and I also made another video about that. Hopefully I think about that that I'm gonna link this down below as well if you want to check this out, what harm reduction is all about. But it's basically finding a better option for the food choice you normally would make in this certain situation. Okay. Now, to round this big topic up, if we know that we should avoid certain like high blood sugar fluctuations, but it's okay from time to time, maybe once a week, to have that, to long-term really establish a diet that works, individualized and customized for you, the question is, what do you do on the other days? When you might, let's just look at the week, and there was just a Sunday, and you had maybe a little treat together with your family, and you really enjoyed that, and you have been really aware of that. And by the way, this is another thing why we should eat some sugar from time to time, because if you tell yourself, I'm gonna avoid that all the time, you're gonna drive yourself straight into a direction of having a bad relationship with food, and that should never happen if you want to have long-term success and dominate your health in your life.